Hi there, this is Chris Barron for the 26th of August 2020. Let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about UX. We're going to talk about improving a website to hopefully increase sales. After all, that's what UX is all about. It's obviously making the user's experience a better browsing experience, but at the end of the day, what matters to most clients is actually getting more money, right? Getting more sales. So this is what we're going to talk about today. UX in terms of improving sales. This is going to be specifically about the checkout process, the ordering process. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But first, I really want to show you a little bit of something. I want to show you a design I've just... Okay, there you go. Go live. There you go. So this is a design that's up for the awards. This is a very popular design right now on Dribble. A lot of people have upvoted it, and it's about to win a prize on whatever the category on the website AWWW Words. So, okay, ha, there you go. Now this is much better, right? I actually had my other recording program opened. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, let's go about this again. We're gonna talk about UX in the context of improving sales. UX specifically regarding the checkout process on an e-commerce website. I think most clients, this is what they want. They want to improve sales. They want to increase sales with minimal effort, right? So this is what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna cover a specific case about my company and how I recreated the checkout process. I think this is very much interesting for those who are into web design, and we'll go through the entire shindig. But before we get into that, I really want to show you this website, which is right now trending on Dribble. It's very much appreciated on Dribble, and it's actually gonna be, I think it may get an award for best web design on a website called AWWW Awards, basically. So in just a few sentences, this is a great website, they say, right? And to me, it doesn't make any sense. And I just wanted to show you that even though you may be trending on Twitter, even though a great design agency may create an awesome website, it could still look rubbish. And I strongly feel that's the case with this specific website, which is Open Colony. So let's just spend 2 minutes on it. 2 minutes, then we're gonna jump into the UX part. And I would really love to to get some feedback regarding this title. So the company is called Open Colony, right? And what does it sell? Open Colony is an executive advisory group of, by, and for innovators. So again, this website is trending on Dribble, and it's about to receive an award for this design. This headline is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. The design itself, it's as minimal as it can be. If you scroll down, you're gonna see, the background is gonna change. We understand the future of work because we're creating it. I have no idea what this is all about. Then some insights, and these are basically testimonials. But again, let's go to services. Maybe I'm missing something, right? So services for individuals, career design. Career design is the product maker fit for the next phase of your career. So they basically tell you what you're supposed to do, right? Whether you're supposed to get hired or what, by assessing your passions, core competencies, and history. So again, I'm just showing you this website because to me, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's opencolony.com. And again, it's trending on Dribble. I really want to stress that. And it's up for a web design award. It's totally ridiculous. So again, services, career design, and executive coaching. And for companies, advisory, executive search, which is probably HR, yeah. So I just wanted to show you something that, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now back to the UX side. Now on the UX side, this is my website, right? You're probably familiar with it. It's an e-commerce site, and I'm basically selling these healthy products, right? Oatmeal, whatever, lemonade and whatnot, right? So obviously I'm trying to increase sales. I'm spending money like most clients do on Facebook ads, on basically just about everything you can think of, Instagram, working with influencers, whatever, right? So I'm spending, a fair amount of money each and every month. And again, I think most companies fall into this category, right? So because I'm spending money to obviously make sales, I would love to get an increase in sales, right? Whether it's 5%, 10%, or 50%, I would love any type of increase in sales by tweaking my design, right? And obviously you could change, the headline, you could change this grid and whatnot. But the agency that I'm working with, the marketing agency that I'm working with, that handles my Facebook ads and my Instagram ads, they've constantly said, hey, Chris, you gotta simplify the checkout process. And this is something that probably 90% of your clients are going to ask you to do. This is something that's extremely common. Making the making the entire checkout process as seamless as possible will obviously help raise sales, more revenue, more money, more profits, right? Because what tends to happen, people add something to the cart and then they just give up, right? So now what we have to do is find out why they're giving up for whatever reason, and we'll try to address that. Now, one of the most common reasons why people abandon their carts is obviously because this website is asking for too much information, right? If you have loads of fields, that's one thing that will surely decrease your conversion rate. And the conversion rate is something that's, it's a standard. You'll often hear about conversion rates. It's basically a statistic that says what percentage of your visitors are actually gonna make a sale, are actually gonna make a purchase. In general, for an e-commerce website, that's about 2%. That's basically the standard all across the board. So out of 100 people, if 2 of them make a purchase, you're gonna be pretty good. You're gonna be average. Not a lot of websites go above 2%. Obviously, it varies. Obviously, it depends. But most e-commerce websites fall way beneath that. You can find 0.5%, 0.2% and whatnot. So again, your battle as a designer is to increase that, right? So how can we do that? Again, by simplifying the checkout process. Let me show you the existing checkout process. Before we get into that, again, analytics is key. So I would love to show you the desktop version because it's easier to follow along, right? But Google Analytics tells me that 85% of my traffic is on mobile devices. So because of that, we're not going to waste time for the 15%. We're actually going to focus on 85% of the traffic. So we're going to do this. We're going to hit F12 and we're going to hit this button right here in the top right side. And now we're going to have the mobile version. Okay. So now let's see how we can simplify the process. I'm in incognito mode. We have a sticky banner right here at the bottom. And what happens here is we can browse around. We can change the categories. As you can see, there's no reloading here. This is seamless. This immediately loads up. And what we can do is we can do the following. Okay, we can do something like that, right? And this just says at the bottom that the product has been added to the cart, right? Now, what tends to happen is people click here and for whatever reason, they abandon their cart. They don't move forward. And again, this is our job. This is what we're going to do in the next 20 minutes, how we can improve it. I have something here that says, if you're going to finalize your order in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to give you some pancakes for free. So yeah, that's one way to increase sales. Give them an incentive to finish up in 30 minutes. But that's besides the point. Okay, so what happens here? We're not logged in, obviously. We've just arrived at the website. We've added some products to the cart. And now this says log in or register. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to register. Immediately, I'm showing you the registration screen. So I don't assume that you have an account. And that's because when you're doing so much advertising on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, most people will be new visitors. I would say about 60 to 80% of them are new visitors. So because of that, it doesn't make sense for you to show the login screen. Actually go towards the registration immediately. If they do have an account, you can just click here, enter your account. That's what it says. The next thing, when you register, and I'm pretty happy with how I designed this website initially. When you register, it just asks you for your email and your password, not even a repeat password, right? So again, most websites tell you to repeat your password just in case you didn't type it correctly, right? I'm risking it just because I want you to have a seamless experience as fast as possible. From 3 fields to 2 fields, that's a huge improvement. It may not seem like it, but this is our challenge. This is what we have to do. We have to simplify absolutely everything. Because again, the process here is to make the experience go so smoothly that there's no hesitation whatsoever. If the checkout process takes 2 minutes, that's way too long. It has to be 30 seconds or less. The user doesn't have to think about anything, because when he starts and thinks about it, he gets distracted, his phone rings, somebody calls him to the kitchen and whatnot. So again, it's critical that you reduce absolutely everything. So again, I'm pretty happy with this approach. Let's create a fake account. Okay. Okay, the checkout is mandatory. We have to obey the law. Okay. And now, here's how I did it initially. I have your contact information. Right here, we have your name, your phone number, and your email address. We already have the email address. This is why it's blue. And these two are in red. Right here, it says add. So what we have to do is we obviously have to click it, and we have these 2 fields that we have to put in, right? So this is how I initially created it. I wanted to break the process into several steps, like your name, then your email, then your delivery address, and then finally the payment option. So 3 steps. Because my thought process was, it's 15 fields. Let's say there's 15 fields in total, which are absolutely mandatory, right? So for example, just 1 field for the name, not first name and last name, because that's 2 fields, just 1, right? Complete name, cool, full name, right? When you have 15 fields, it's obviously better to show them 5 at a time in 3 steps. Again, your information, then whatever, the delivery address, 5 fields there, and finally last 5 fields for the payment information. That would make sense. Why? Because if I'm gonna show you 15 fields immediately, you're gonna say, whoa, this is way too much. This is gonna take way too much time, right? So that was my initial thought process. But again, the marketing agency keeps saying that, hey, this is not good. Something is not working well. A bunch of people are constantly adding things to the cart and they're not finalizing it. Okay, so again, this is what we have to do right here. Put in my name, then my phone number, whatever. Okay, whatever. Okay. And as you move forward, as you save that information, obviously it becomes blue, it's no longer red, and you can move down to the address. Now the address is again something really important. Now obviously this is something very specific to my country, but you first have to choose your city, then you have to choose something else, and then you have to put in your street name, and then the street number, and then optional, if you're living in an apartment building, you have to put in a bunch of additional information. Now, these are loads of fields. Can you remove some of them? Not really, because if I don't know where you live, we've had problems in the past with our delivery where people didn't put in their full address. So if I just say, whatever, the Baker Street number 5, that may not be enough. On Baker Street, you may find 20 apartments, right? So this is one of the issues. So this is why I've went for this approach, right? Where I ask you for just about everything, but only some fields are mandatory. And you can see that mandatory by this symbol right here, asterisk. Okay, and after you put in that information, you have your shipping methods. There are 2 shipping methods here. And then how you're gonna pay, whether it's through credit card or cash. So that's the existing checkout process, right? Here you have your order summary, what you chose in your cart. Obviously, you can increase the number of products and whatnot. And finally, some details regarding the order. If you want it delivered until 2 o'clock or something, you just put that information here. So again, this is not good enough. Now, I'm not sure how you feel about it, but yeah, that may be something that can be improved. So let me show you the new version, what I spent a lot of time working on. So initially, I went for this design. I simplified the background. I no longer have this blue background. As you can see here, we have a blue background and we have white rectangles, white cards, right? So I got rid of that. Instead, I went for this much cleaner approach. The stroke right here is 2 pixels, so it's fairly thick, and I strongly believe this is a better look. And the key information right here is that after you click the card, so you're here, you're on the home page, and you click here on the card, you're immediately taken here. Actually, to be more precise, you're immediately taken here. So there's no button that says log in, log out, whatever. You're immediately taken here. So this is the big change, right? I'm basically removing I'm removing one click. Let me show you once more how this goes. So again, you're gonna be on the mobile version. So when you click and you add products to the cart, when you click here, sorry, I'm still logged in because I already have a window opened. Just one sec, sorry about that. Let's do it one more time. Okay. So after we add a few products, and again, you click on the cart, you're going to be taken here where you see your order summary, but this is asking you to log in or register. So the difference here is that we have login right here, or order without account. Okay, so this is the big change right here. And I think this is the only way to go about it. I think this is the only thing that we can do to actually simplify it. So instead of forcing the user to click here on this register button, and then he obviously has to put in a lot of fields, we're gonna show this right here. Now the difference what's gonna happen here is the following. Let me actually play you the prototype because this is why I used Adobe XD. If you log in, you're gonna get this screen right here. This is gonna be done through JavaScript. So there isn't gonna be any loading time whatsoever. You're just gonna click it and that's that. So again, you click on the card and you're gonna be taken here. You're gonna be asked these two things. I would love to actually have these buttons span full width, but I think I'm gonna leave them as they are. I'm gonna show you why that's the case. You click on login and immediately you're gonna be actually sent to the registration thing, right? Again, email and password. And someone actually suggested that I should have a show password thing right here. I might implement that. That seems smart. So this is how this is gonna work. On the other hand, you can order without an account, even though the registration process only takes 2 fields, right? Email and password. Even though it's really simple, some people, for whatever reason, maybe for the privacy reasons, they just don't want to register, which doesn't make any sense because you're not going to have an order history. You're missing out on several things. You're missing out on vouchers and whatnot. But again, whatever. We're going to follow the marketing agency on this one. Now, if you want to order without an account, you click here. And now this is what's going to happen. This is going to show up. I made a different treatment for the active field. This is now orange, as you can see here. And I went ahead and did the following. We have name, phone number, which are obviously mandatory. This is the city, and again the city. These are again absolutely mandatory. We can't remove them. But now here's the big change. For the street, for the number, for just about everything, for the block, for the apartment, for the floor, this is all one field. One field instead of whatever we had before, all those things that were obviously, let me just log in. We had loads of fields there. Okay, so look, we had 3, 6, 7, 8. right? 8 fields. Now we're only gonna have one, right? Now, the hint does say that you should specify the street name, the number, the block, the floor, whatever, the apartment building and whatnot, but this is tricky. This is risky. The chances of us shipping an order and not arriving at the proper place is gonna go up significantly. So the chance of us not shipping the product correctly to the correct address is gonna go up. But on the other side, we do have the phone number, and we're expecting that the shipping company is gonna phone the actual customer if the shipping company can't find the actual address. So again, this is very risky, but it does simplify the checkout process a lot, right? So I think, it does make sense. Roland says that he's actually one of those people that hates registering. Okay, if you could let me know why that's the case, why you don't want to register, even if it's just 2 fields, email and password, I would really appreciate me knowing why you have this aversion. Okay, now moving on down, the checkout is again simplified. I'm showing you all the information right from the get-go. So as you can see here, there's nothing that's behind a screen, right? In the existing version, you can't fill in your delivery information before you set this up, right? But right here, the agency said, hey, leave them be. Let them do whatever they want to do. If they want to scroll down and they want to choose cash payment and then move up and put in their names, let them do that. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm gonna give them a lot more freedom, even though, I'm not confident that this is gonna perform better. But if it does perform better, even 5%, that's gonna be 5% revenue extra in my pocket. So I'm gonna be really happy about that. Now, one of the biggest problems right here that I had was the following. This is a calendar, right? So when you want to check out, you have to choose when you wanna receive the order, because we have that option, right? So right here, if you click it, as you can see, we have a calendar here, and this shows up, and then you have this drop down where you can say, hey, I want to get the order at 12 o'clock. Now, the problem with that is that I have way too many buttons here. So I have these 2 right here at the top, and then I have another one right here, and then I could potentially have another one right here that says something like read more about the shipping costs and whatnot, right? So there's quite a lot of buttons, and place order is really at the bottom. So as you can see, you have to scroll down quite a lot. So this is a huge problem. This is something that's really, I'm not really confident that this is gonna work well, especially since, all your products are at the top and the place order button is here. Now, what we could potentially do is we could probably do the following. Let me just move these to the side. Now, we could potentially move all this underneath, right? We could potentially do something like that, right? And then all this, is this one group? Nope, it's not. 1 second. Let's see, let's group all of it. Okay, so we can raise this up and then we can put this down. But now it really doesn't make that much sense, because you get the value here, right? But you don't see the products. So this, I don't think it makes that much sense, right? So the other thing that we could potentially do is we could obviously move this button here. But now if we move this button here, people may not scroll enough. People may not fill out all this other information, and that's going to be a problem. Let's actually preview it so we can better see what's what. Right, so as you can see, place order is here. So people very likely they're just going to try and click it. Now, again, I think this might be better. This may work a bit better, but there's no particular place to show the errors. For example, you forgot to put in your delivery information, or you forgot to whatever. Let me know, do you prefer this one with the button raised up? Let's see, button at the top or button at the bottom? Please give it a thumbs up in the chat, because I'm not sure. Again, what we can do obviously is we can make it gray initially, right? we can make it something like this. So that would imply that this isn't ready to be ordered. Maybe make it even lighter, something like that. Probably actually we can actually make this blue. Nope, just the button. We can make this blue, and this can be very light. So we can show that this is disabled. Maybe even lighter, maybe with a border. Maybe with a border, we'll see. Okay, something like this. And what we can potentially do is something like the following. Let's do this. Okay, we can move this down. And now we could potentially write a few messages here. Yeah, let's duplicate this part right here. And let's actually move it up. And we could say whatever, choose a delivery method, right? So we could potentially do something like that. I think that may work a bit better, right? If we show the errors immediately here, immediately underneath. What do you think about that? But I'm not sure. I don't think we should show this immediately. I think if the person tries to click on place order, maybe we can show the information here. Because right now, yeah, we have that information right here. Please choose a delivery method. Please choose a date. Choose a delivery method. Choose a date for your delivery. So we could potentially do something like that. Now, again, this doesn't really solve the issue as far as I'm concerned. This really doesn't make things a whole lot better. But I think it makes more sense for the button to be at the top rather than having to scroll down all the way at the bottom. What do you guys think? Let me see. So people say it should be divided into stages where there's no reload. Yes, I agree. There won't be any reload. This is all going to be done through JavaScript. So I think it makes sense. People are saying they're upvoting the button at the bottom. So this right here after you've gone through all the information. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Wouldn't it make more sense though to be right here next to all the products? Well, actually, I think you guys may be right, just for the simple reason that this isn't correct right here. Actually, this should be moved up like so, and probably placeholder should be here. Let's ungroup this. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that this is actually messed up. This won't work. Is this grouped yet again? Yes, this is grouped. Ungroup, okay. So I think, yeah, this would be the actual layout. And obviously that doesn't make sense. Obviously this doesn't make sense. Initially we won't have the errors, right? Initially it would be something like this, right? And then when you click it, the errors would show underneath. But, you know, this layout, man, I don't think it would work. We could obviously, let's see. We could, and this should be orange as well. Nah, I don't think this is actually gonna work. Because, well, this could be gray here actually, because initially you do have to choose login or the order without account. So this could be gray. But, and then what? This is gonna be orange when you fill out all the fields, right? I'm not sure that's a good idea. Nah, I'm not sure. So again, this is the type of challenge that you as a designer have to go through. This is the iteration process that I constantly talk about. So as you can see here, I have what, 6 screens that are all the same thing basically. So this is the exact thing that you're gonna spend hours upon hours on. And why are you gonna spend hours? Because this affects the bottom line. This button, if it's placed at the top or at the bottom, this makes a huge difference. So this is the life of a web designer basically. This is what you have to consider every time you create anything, right? And you might think, you know, if you're just tuning in, you might think, hey, this is an app. No, it's not an app. This is a mobile version of a website. And you have to make sure that this is buttoned up. This is top notch, especially if you're advertising on Instagram, which is obviously a mobile phone app. And when you click it, you're obviously going to be sent, to a responsive version of the website. So overall, I think I have to work some more. I'm not sure. I can see where the existing method isn't all that great. The existing version, has the button at the bottom. It's gray, as you can see here, to imply that basically you can't place the order unless you fix these issues. But yeah, if the agency says that out of 200 people only four whatever place an order, then there may be something about it. Now obviously people may abandon their carts because they don't fulfill the minimum order or because the shipping is expensive. There may be tons of reasons why they abandon their carts. Maybe the delivery options aren't good enough. Maybe they don't like the shipping method. Maybe they're not happy because, for example, today, you can't choose today because it's too late. It's 6 p.m., right? So there's a number of reasons. So just because people are adding things to their cart and abandoning it, it doesn't mean that there is a problem 100%. It may be just one of those things, right? So because of that, I think I'm not going to change it immediately. I think I'm going to spend a bit more time. I am pretty happy, trying this out, where I have one single field for the address. But yeah, overall, I'm not sure. Again, why did I spend this much time on this specific thing? Because this is the life of a web designer. This is what you should expect. And for this type of thing, you should expect to be paid at least $1,000. Because again, whatever you do here, whatever small changes that you make is obviously going to affect the whole company. So if I'm making whatever, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 per month, anything that you do to increase that, just by a little bit, that increase, I'm gonna benefit from that month after the month, week after the week, year after the year, right? So anything that you can do is obviously gonna pay loads of dividends to the company. And subsequently, if you're gonna ask whatever, for example, if you ask me right now, hey Chris, if I could increase your revenue by, let's say, 20% by changing your checkout process, how much do you think I'm willing to pay you? I would say, at least $2,000-$3,000 at the minimum, right? It really depends on how good the company, is operating, what profits I'm making and whatnot. But yeah, I would gladly pay a few $1,000s for someone to come in and just play around with these buttons and fields. Because as you can see right here, just one more idea and then I'm going to end it, because I know this isn't all that exciting for most people, is the following. The design itself isn't all that difficult. I'm sure that every single one of you guys could make it. So the design itself isn't anything fantastic. It's not technically difficult. You don't have to be really creative about it. This is about problem solving. This is about, making things easier. This is about UX and that's about that, right? So because of that reason, I'm confident that 99% of you can easily execute such a design. The thing where you have to make sure that the thing that really brings value is making sure the analytics go up, right? So because of that, for example, log in right here, I put in this icon. This icon right here, it's not for decorative purposes. It's not because it looks nice. I added that icon because fat fingers, right? If you use your thumb, you want as much surface area as possible. So that's the type of thing that really brings value to the table. Not, oh, let me add an icon because it looks nice. No, let me add an icon so I can extend the active area. So when you have a fat finger, you can easily tap it, right? So that's the type of thing you should focus on. Let me see if there's anything else in the general chat. Okay, I have several options right here. Yep, breaking things up into 3 steps. I already did that. That's my existing version. Thank you, Cucumber, for that. Let's see what else. Change address. Yep, yet again, someone else is telling me to break it up into 3 steps. But again, that's the existing one right here. 1, 2, and 3. Now, obviously, I could just hide, 2 and 3 and just leave 1 active. But that's what I'm initially doing. These are all grayed out. You can't interact with them. Is there any value in not showing them at all versus them being really grayed out? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much again. I know this wasn't the absolute best live stream because this is something of a boring project. This is something that's really for those niche people that really want to focus on a specific part of web design. But we're going to talk about more fun stuff on Sunday, where I'm going to award $20 for the contest. The contest is obviously available in the contest channel. What you have to do is you have to create a new cover image for my course, for my freelancing course. I think this is a bit dated. I'm not loving the colors anymore, and I'm not going to say more than that. Please create a new design for it, submit it. Please create a mock-up. You have all the information here, and I look forward to it. This can be an easy $20 considering that not a lot of people have submitted a design. So do your best, submit a design, and that's going to be that. This is Chris signing out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Sunday.